You're watching the New Killer series. We're gonna talk about why Outlast isn't in Dead by Daylight yet. This is one of the really hyped video game properties still out there. We'll go over exactly what Behavior would need to do to license an Outlast chapter into Dead by Daylight, as well as the Outlast DBD speculations out there.
Will you consider doing more video game licenses in the future?
It's gonna be a boring answer, but absolutely.
I think we're all huge nerds. We'd love it.
Honestly, I'm elaborating on I think what I had in the notes, but we're huge horror fans. It's it all comes down to what opportunities come up to us. So we'll see.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Schmuckles. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I also stream on Twitch on Wednesday and Sunday nights. The link for that is in the description below. There's some really suspicious information about the Outlast license. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video if you want to see the Outlast speculations, and let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. When I looked online, I found some really well-developed fan-made concepts for an Outlast DBD crossover. All of these Outlast concepts focus on Miles Upshur as the new survivor. Chris Walker could come in as the new killer. There are so many sequences of Chris chasing Miles that feel like a DBD chase. Even the music sounds like it could work as DBD chase music. Some of the Outlast fan-made concepts focus on Richard Trager as the new killer. He's a crazed doctor who wants to use Miles for an experiment.
You paying attention? Don't pass out on me. There's still a lot for you to absorb.
The new map for a chapter like this would probably be the Mount Massive Asylum for the criminally insane. I get a lot of Shutter Island vibes when looking at this map. There are a lot of opportunities for crazy vaults and loops based on the way that the map looks in the Outlast game. A little background: Outlast is a first-person survival horror video game developed and published by Red Barrels. It was released in 2013. The game focuses on a freelance investigative journalist, Miles Upshur, who decides to investigate a remote psychiatric hospital named Mount Massive Asylum, located deep in the mountains of Lake County, Colorado. Outlast was praised for its atmosphere, horror elements, and gameplay. Outlast 2 was released in April 2017. The third Outlast, The Outlast Trials, is set to be released in 2022. As of May 2018, the whole series has sold a total of 15 million copies. If Behavior were to license an Outlast chapter into Dead by Daylight, they would need to go through the Outlast license holders, Red Barrels. So Outlast was not listed as a possible license in the satisfaction survey, so a lot of people are thinking that this is not a license we're going to see in the near future in Dead by Daylight. Red Barrels is a Montreal-based studio, which is where Behavior is based. In fact, these companies are literally a short drive down the road from each other. Behavior recently did the For Honor collaboration with Ubisoft, another Montreal-based video game company. At the For Honor collaboration reveal, Matthew Cote said this.
One thing that I absolutely cannot pass up also is to say that for us, working with some Montreal friends was actually great. I mean, it's something that we wouldn't have said no anyway, but we couldn't pass up. It was just too much fun. There's so many people that we know each other. I mean, it's a small world, the video game industry in Montreal, even though it's quite a big industry. We all sort of know each other, or we've heard about each other. So it was really nice to work with some friends here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great local partnership. Montreal represent. That was really cool. And
So Cote talked about the small world of the Montreal gaming industry. He literally said we all kind of know each other. Not Queen, the lead community manager for Dead by Daylight, follows Red Barrels on Twitter. And so does Mandy, the senior community coordinator for DBD. I think a Red Barrel collaboration with Behavior could definitely be on the cards here. Behavior and DBD don't follow Red Barrels on Twitter. And Red Barrels doesn't follow Behavior or DBD either. But Behavior is very secretive with these kinds of collaborations. Red Barrels was founded 10 years ago by 3 game developers, Philip, David, and Hugo, all of who were previously developers for Ubisoft Montreal. These are the same people that DBD just collaborated with for the For Honor crossover. So it's possible that the founders of Red Barrel still have a connection with Ubisoft, which is a pathway for Behavior to reach out to the Outlast license holders. To me, this makes Outlast a possible license for the 6-year anniversary. On top of all of this, do you remember that tweet from Matthew Cote? That tweet came on September 28th this year. Cote alluded to what some people are thinking is the next license deal to come into DBD. Cote is the game director, and reaching out to license holders and negotiating with them is one of his main responsibilities. possibilities. This tweet was definitely around the time that Behavior, and more specifically Kote, was working with Ubisoft on the For Honor collaboration. So the timing of this tweet is right around the time that Kote probably would have reached out to Red Barrels through Ubisoft for an Outlast chapter in Dead by Daylight. In this video, we speculated which licenses Kote could have been talking about in his tweet. We brainstormed some pretty plausible possibilities. I'd highly recommend checking out that video if you haven't already. But I think that Outlast needs to be added to that list of possible licenses because this is really suspicious. I also found some new information while I was rendering this video, and I want to include it in this video. In this tweet, Matthew Kote said he saw some post begging for that specific thing. Well, about a month before this tweet, somebody did beg for an Outlast chapter on Dead by Daylight. This post comes from Chan, who has around 300 followers. But this post received around 1,300 likes. So this tweet traveled beyond Chan's followers' feeds. I know that Trickster Shadow helped push out this tweet. A lot of other content creators follow Trickster Shadow, so it's possible that Kote saw this tweet here. This means that this could have been the tweet that Kote was talking about. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Releasing an Outlast chapter for the 6-year anniversary would be similar to how the last 2 anniversary events were video game license crossovers. Also in 2022, the new Outlast game is going to be dropped, and if Behavior timed a chapter with that game, that would be similar to what we saw in the 5-year anniversary chapter, where we saw Resident Evil Village dropped and then the Resident Evil chapter in Dead by Daylight. I'm not saying that an Outlast chapter is definitely coming into Dead by Daylight next year, but imagine when this time does come next year. We'll have a new Outlast game, it'll probably be trending on Twitter. Big content creators will be streaming the game, kind of like what we saw with Resident Evil Village. People who haven't played Outlast since Outlast 2 in 2017 would likely give this 2022 game a try. And if DBD were to announce an Outlast chapter, now we're talking about a giant market of people that could join DBD. Also, from Red Barrel's perspective, DBD is one of the biggest horror games out there right now. Exposing the DBD player base to an Outlast chapter might entice some of us to try their game and join in the hype of the new Outlast release. To me, that sounds like a good idea for both companies to time a DBD chapter with the new 2022 game release. We don't know exactly when in 2022 this game is coming, so if it's not before the 6-year anniversary, maybe an Outlast chapter would come for chapter 25 or 26, depending on when the game is released. But it's also possible that Behavior and Red Barrels plan to time the Outlast game release with DBD's 6-year anniversary. This whole thing, which may or may not even be happening, could be coordinated. The 6-year anniversary is probably going to be a bigger event than chapter 25 or 26, so that might give Red Barrels some incentive to be on board with a plan like this. We'll definitely post more videos if any leaks come from this situation. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.